We finally got our first Wagoneer S off the truck last night, so today I got a chance to put a full charge on it, clean it up a little bit, and take it for a test drive. So come along, check out my first drive impressions, and then we're gonna come back and talk a little bit about Wagoneer S, what makes it different, and what sets it apart from the rest of the EVs available today. All right, first time in the Wagoneer S. It's still so hard to get used to just driving silently. Trips me out.
But it is actually really comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a really good job. So size-wise, a lot of us hadn't seen it in person yet, but size-wise, it's really similar to a two-row Grand Cherokee. So even though it is a Wagoneer, it's about the size of a Grand Cherokee. It sits a little lower to the ground than the Grand Cherokee does, but I think it looks like, you know, legroom. Where I'm sitting, it feels very similar to the space you've got in a Grand Cherokee. But the fit and finish of a Grand Wagoneer. I mean, when the dash, the feel of the seats, I mean, it feels like a Series 3 Grand, which is pretty awesome. Steering wheel is shaped just like the Charger. I drove a Charger Daytona yesterday to the Chevy store, and very similar. Let me go sport mode, get on my highway. Whoa. All right, that's fun. Okay, it's all there. And they say this is the fastest Jeep ever, and I believe it. So the advertising that Jeep is doing right now is that Jeep basically one-upped itself over the Trackhawk. So previously, the Hellcat-powered Trackhawk was the fastest Jeep 0 to 60, but now the Wagoneer S is faster, and we just proved it. That was actually amazing. That might have been faster than the Charger. I'm serious. The Daytona, now I haven't done that, just a complete launch on an on-ramp, but that was impressive compared to the Daytona.
How does it feel for your height and being a smaller vehicle?
So I've always been comfortable in a Grand Cherokee. So I'm 6'5", and legroom wise, I'm perfectly fine. This is it sits just like a Grand Cherokee, and you know, the Wagoneer sits more like a truck because it's on the truck chassis. But yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable. I tell you, my mom is gonna love this. So my mom drives a Mercedes GLE, and we always give her a hard time because she is driving Mercedes. But I've been waiting for the Wagoneer S's to arrive because I think she's gonna love it. She likes her GLE because it's an AMG and it's fast. So I think getting her behind the wheel of one of these, it'll be her first experience inside of an EV. So I think she's really gonna enjoy it.
Right off the rip, where do you see this fitting in the segment and the lineup that we have?
I think what's cool about why Stellantis brought the two EVs to market that they did, you know, the Charger, well, back up a little bit. General Motors brought several EVs to market last year, and the Hummer, the Silverado, the Sierra is on the market now. They brought the Blazer EV and the Equinox EV. And here in Oklahoma, the Blazer and the Equinox, their success that they have seen is because the leases are actually really good, and we'll talk about the lease on this car when we sit down here in a little while. But the where I think GM missed the mark a little bit, the Blazer and the Equinox are awesome, but they're not a status symbol. You know, when you see a Hummer, you're like, oh my gosh, that's a Hummer EV. You know, 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60, you know, it can crab walk in the whole 9 yards. And same thing with the Silverado. They did a great job with the Silverado, but there's no real draw from what we've experienced with these smaller SUV EVs from Chevrolet. Now what Stellantis has done with both the Charger Daytona and the Wagoneer S, the Charger's a sports car. Like, there's no way around it, and it's not just an electric version of a sedan. It is 100% designed to be a sports car. It even has a donut mode, which hopefully we eventually get to experience for ourselves. And then I think Wagoneer, they brought to market a luxury electric SUV, and I think that's where they're going to find their success. Is it's not just something that they've electrified. They actually built a luxury SUV that people are going to like the looks of it. They're going to like how it rides. It just happens to be pushed along by electric motors instead of gasoline. We're pulling into Chick-fil-A for lunch.
I don't know what the point of that is, but the fact that screen, like, you have your controls still down there, but then the whole screen, that's cool.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be happening.
What part?
It should be either up or down. Oh, okay. Oh, you still have buttons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you put it up, your buttons are still there. And then your screen.
So that's where it sits, is right there. It doesn't come all the way down. So this is cool. So in Grand Wagoneer, you have the same setup for your heat and air controls with this screen, but it hides a storage cubby behind it. So with Grand Wagoneer, it's usually either open or closed. Like my wife, when she gets in her car, she opens it and never closes it again. But this is cool because you can kind of use it both ways and then slide it right back down to get stuff out of the way. That's really neat.
Oh, that's so cool.
Thank you.
Your car sounds like one of those ones from the future.
Yep. It's the Wagoneer S.
It's nice. You guys have a good day.
You too, thanks.
And it was for Jared, right?
Yes.
Defended it to you guys.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
They actually gave it a audible tone, and I'm pretty sure that the manufacturers have done that for pedestrians.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they actually hear something rolling up on them, you know? Okay, so where they put the wireless phone charger is actually pretty trick. So it's at the front edge of the center console, and it holds the phone secure. I really like that. That's a good spot for get your phone out of the way and keep it from being a distraction. All right, audio check.
Media button.
Oh, we got to turn that setting off. That's a feature too. So this is it comes standard on Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer. It's usually turned on. You can activate it in the trucks that have surround view cameras. I don't love it. I would rather use my mirrors, but it's one of those safety features that some people like it, some people love it. The video mirror is awesome. It gives you a really wide angle view. You can turn it off just like that. I'm old school, I guess, but I'd rather just look in a mirror. I think my depth perception's better just looking at the glass. Okay, I want to get into
media button.
The actual
media button selected.
Audio settings. Equalizer. Oh, somebody cranked the bass. Goodness gracious. There's nothing wrong with that. Might as well see what this thing will do. All right, you ready for a 90s rap mashup?
I'm ready.
Stop.
It is a country song.
Shut on down, open up shop singing. No, no, that's a rough rider's roll. I'm going.
All of, guys, I'm looking around. It is 100% Wagoneer. Like, all the buttons are the same. It's like sitting in a miniature Grand Wagoneer. Really, it's cool.
I think the really cool thing is this is just the starting. This is just the start of whatever they've got to offer.
Right. Okay, slow down a little bit. Whoa. Did you hear that?
All four of them.
It's a little wet today, but that was trippy. We just hit 67 in about 3 seconds.
And would have been quicker had we had traction.
Had we had traction. That's really cool. All right. Heated and cooled seats back here. So behind myself, it is a little tight. Doable, but it is a little tight. Just get over behind you. Yeah, that's perfect. That's much better. Heated and cooled seats back here. Air in the center console. That's nice. There's a lot of SUVs that you don't get an air vent right here. Two USB-C ports back here. There's 115 volt electric back here. Actually, a lot of cargo space. That might be bigger than the back of a Grand Cherokee. I'm gonna go check that out. That's pretty cool. This has the depth of a Grand Wagoneer with the third row seats folded. This is actually, you know, obviously you don't have the width or the height, but the overall depth is pretty legit. More storage under here.
Is there front storage?
I would assume so. Yep, not very deep. There's a little bit. So my name is Jared Glover. I'm the dealer at Jim Glover Dodge in Owasso, Oklahoma, and I was hands down impressed with the Wagoneer S. So it's been a long time coming. Several other manufacturers have launched new EVs in the past couple years, and Stellantis was kind of last to the party with the Charger Daytona, which is also awesome. We'll talk about that on another video. But the Wagoneer S, I got to drive it for the first time today, and I was thoroughly impressed. So what they did really, really well is they took what makes the Grand Wagoneer special and just made it smaller and electrified it. So if you take the fact, you know, there's a lot of polarity, big time polarity between ICE vehicles and EVs. And I enjoy driving both. I love horsepower. I love hearing a V8, and that's a big part of my personality. But then I spent some time in a Hummer EV earlier this year, and then I've driven the Charger, I've driven the Wagoneer. And there's something about driving electric that just the silence, the comfort, the power, obviously the power is fantastic. But Jeep did the Wagoneer S a little bit different. So instead of trying to create a electric vehicle and making it super futuristic and, you know, less buttons, and, you know, a lot of the manufacturers have gone that direction with the EV, but what Jeep did with the Wagoneer S that I liked is all the buttons are the same. Like, I felt like I was in a little Grand Wagoneer, and that's what's really, really cool for the price point. If you think about, you've got Macintosh audio, which is best in class for comparable EVs, 45 inches of touch screens, 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, 600 horsepower equivalent from the electric motors. It is a Grand Cherokee sized Grand Wagoneer. So if you want to compare interior details, it would be like the Grand Cherokee Summit Reserve if it were electrified. And that's really what they've done with the Wagoneer S. And like I said, I was thoroughly impressed. In the video, I talk about that I had plenty of room. I'm 6'5", and I was very comfortable, just like I would be driving a Wagoneer or a Grand Cherokee L. So overall, I think Jeep's approach with Wagoneer S is spot on. There's obviously going to be the question, do you want the EV or not? And that's for everybody to make up their mind. I don't think that is necessarily the question when it comes to Wagoneer S. I think it's, if you are in the market for an electric vehicle, they executed very well, bringing a luxury option into a price point that outperforms a lot of its competitors that are trying to do the same thing in the electric space. Well, hopefully our video, our first impressions, our first drive, hopefully that helped answer some of your questions. It's very fast. It rained a little bit here today, so we did that launch, and I believe we actually got all 4 tires to squeal accidentally. But we got up to like 65 miles an hour like that. It is impressively powerful. It's a ton of fun to drive. It's incredibly comfortable. It's like driving a Grand Wagoneer. They nailed it. So like I said before, I'm a little bit biased because I'm a Jeep dealer in Oklahoma. I'm the dealer at Jim Glover Jeep in Owasso, Oklahoma. But honestly, Wagoneer S, if you are in the luxury EV market, they brought a lot to the table. Best audio system, standard ventilated seats, which I just did a little bit of research. I don't think that across the board, that's not standard. They did a lot of things right. So if you have any other questions, if you're interested in learning more, or if you have any specific questions on how to order one, please feel free to click the link below, and we would love the chance to talk to you. And Jeep dropped new incentives today, and some of the lease payments are absolutely unbelievable. They really are standing behind this new product, and they're excited to get it in the streets. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching.